I've been trying to make a video on Gravity Falls for the last 4 years. And if you scroll down into my 4 years worth of video, which roughly I believe is around 2 videos, you will discover that I have made 0 videos about Gravity Falls. So, what gives? Well, I really mean it when I say I have been desperately trying to make a video on this show for 4 years, because this show changed so much about me, my trajectory of how I look at things, just everything. I got a fucking tattoo of this video. So why is it that the last time I made a video on this channel was like 9 years ago? Well, like I said, I have been trying, but every time I sit down to record a video on this show, nothing I do is good enough. No matter how much I try, everything that I want to say has already been said by people who are way more talented than me in this craft. For example, one of the video ideas that I had is I would sit down and I would watch both seasons of Gravity Falls, and then I would sit down in front of the camera and critique them. However, when I sat down, I realized that everything that I wanted to say about the show was already said by creators who said it way better than me. So I stopped on that video, and for a couple of months, I didn't make anything about it. But then I had another idea. What if I were to make a video where I looked back on all of the theories that the community came up with, and I poked around at some of them. I would see if some were to be believed and some were rather funny. But in all honesty, there are so many theories that there's no way I could even begin to cover the amount of theories people had about the show. And again, creators that are better than me had already done it. So there goes that idea. And then I had a really funny idea where I was going to look back on the fan fiction that came from this community. And in particular, I was going to read a very accursed one that involves a Dipper going to a certain Mexican restaurant. And that was funny. I was like, this is the video where I'm going to honor the legacy of Gravity Falls by reading a fan fiction that the creator of the show does not like. Do I really want to make that video? To honor a show that I like, do I want to read a disgusting fan fiction that the creator of the show doesn't like? Is that what I want to do? And so I gave up. I stopped trying to make a video on Gravity Falls because I had nothing to say about this show. I tried 100 other ideas, and no matter what I did, I just couldn't come up with a topic good enough about this show to warrant a video. I wanted this video to honor a show that really changed my life. But what do you say about something that has already been said? So what do? I'm in the same spot that I was when I started trying to come up with a Gravity Falls video. I love this show so much, but there is nothing that I can say about it that hasn't already been said. There is nothing I can do to honor it that hasn't already been done. And then I got to thinking, there is one thing that hasn't been said about this show that only I can provide. And it's not a critique of the show. It's not going over all the theories. It's not reading very, very, very gross fan fiction. Oh my God, that fucking fan fiction. But no one has an experience with this show quite like mine. No one has an experience with this show like yours. We can all agree that there are things about the show that are universally liked, from its story to its mysteries to its characters. Everything about the show is universally liked. But there's only one me and only one my experience. So I want to talk about that for a little bit. I first heard about Gravity Falls on a summer day in 2012. I remember distinctly that I was not feeling good. So I turned my lights off, I turned my TV on, and I took a nap. And when I woke up, there was an ad playing on my TV that looked interesting. So I watched it. And I sat there and I was like, huh, this looks bad. My first experience with a show that I would later get a tattoo of that changed my life for the better was, man, this looks like dog shit. I was literally 12 years old. What the fuck did I know about TV? Nothing. Safe to say that I didn't give the show a chance because, well, it doesn't seem good, so I'm not gonna fucking watch it. However, I then went on a little app called YouTube.com and started watching a whole bunch of videos and really falling into this YouTube thing. But I kept hearing over and over about a amazing new show called Gravity Falls and how it was full of mystery and intrigue, and there were these codes, and it could be a demon. Ooh. Side note, does anyone remember where there were some parents who thought that this show was to promote demon worship?
Ancient blood and blackened skies, the forest dark shall once more rise.
In retrospect, maybe they were right, but I kept hearing all of these great things about this show. And one night, I was at my grandma's house and I turned on her TV, and the last half of the episode, Gideon Rises, was playing on TV. And I was like, I mean, I might as well watch. What's the worst that could happen? The worst that could happen was I fell in love with this show instantly. The humor, the characters, but the biggest thing for me, despite knowing literally nothing about this show, was the ending. It enraptured me. There was a sense of heaviness that came from watching when Grunkle Stan entered into that vending machine, walked down into the basement, and there was this giant fucking triangle thing with these books of mystery. He attached them all together, and then it ended. What the fuck was that? So instantly, I needed to know more. And holy shit, the more I learned, the more into it I was. And there was a second season on the way that would answer all of these mysteries, but still introduce new ones. Who was the guy that wrote the books? How does Grunkle Stan know him? What the fuck is going on? I was so excited, and the deeper down the rabbit hole I went, the more interesting this show became. It was perfect. And the second season came out, and every time an episode of that second season came out, I was seated watching it, sometimes with my family behind me. It truly was like an event for me and my stepbrother and my brother. We would all sit down and watch this show because holy shit, it was fucking good. But more than that, it wasn't just the show. You see, I grew up with this show. I entered high school when this show was still on the air. And listen, as a sophomore in high school, I wasn't the most well-liked person in my high school, and that was very lonely. But this show gave me a sense of community that whenever I talked to another fan of Gravity Falls, we had something that bonded us together, and a lot of friendships that I would have never had in high school came because of this show. I was friends with people in high school, and then I would go online and discuss Gravity Falls with other people. I would make video after video about this show because truly, it had me enraptured. And then one day, as I woke up to go to high school, I got a notification that there was a rumor that Alex Hirsch was ending Gravity Falls. I didn't believe it until I logged on to his Tumblr, and there it was. The show was going to be over after its second season aired. That was it. And I thought I was going to cry, but I just kind of sat there and I was sad. This show that had enraptured me, and that still was enrapturing me, was coming to an end. I didn't want it to end. I wanted it to keep going way past. I wanted to grow up with this show all the way to the end of high school. But it ended. Gravity Falls taught me that everything has to end at some point. Now, should I have known that everything has to end at some point? Yeah, probably. Again, I was in high school. This phase of my life was coming to an end. The Gravity Falls phase was almost over. So, I watched every episode of that show as I could. And finally came to an end. I remember I cried so hard at the finale that my stepbrother made me dinner because he felt so bad. Listen, I know that Gravity Falls is just a TV show. Trust me, I know. But it gave me so much that I don't know where I would be if not for this show. So, thank you, Gravity Falls. Especially thank you to Alex Hirsch. You gave me a sense of community and a place where I felt like I belonged when some of the other things I was doing at the time didn't make me feel like that. So yeah, thank you, Gravity Falls. Thank you. Oh, and whatever you do, don't read Dipper Goes to Talk. This don't read Dipper Goes to Talk. It's not good. It's fucking, who wrote this shit?